Well, it's tragic when you look at these numbers, and I thank both of you for your comments here. And I think a self-awareness amongst parents right now is really important, because if 1 in 5 girls are engaging in self-harm and it's doubled in terms of hospitalizations, I hate to think of where we're going to be at in 2025 if we don't nip this in the bud.
But the other thing is that this is happening younger and younger,
that's right?
So 8% of third graders now in a recent survey admitted to some form of self-harm. So that was astounding to me, that they're under so much pressure. They don't know how to handle it. We as parents are not doing our jobs correctly, many of us. I felt guilty when I read the information about this segment, because they are under tremendous pressure.
But let's, so before we go to break, because we are close to out of time, but I think this is important. I think it is important to distinguish between pressure and perceived pressure, because so much of it is perceived pressure. So how can we at home decrease some of that perceived pressure? Because kids feel it, because it's real for them.
Yes,
how do we decrease that sensation or that feeling of pressure? Because if it's there and people are harming because of it, we have to have a way of diffusing it, whether it be at school or at home.
And that's what parents can do. We can be the grown-up that sees the difference between the pressure that we're caught up in and say, wait a minute, pull the lens back. What are the actual priorities? What actually matters? And boys aren't immune from this either. And self-harm that might start out on your skin can end up as substance abuse and other negative coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
So parents can't fix it all, but what we can do is stay engaged, pay attention, and not be afraid to ask.
And a lot of times it is internally imposed, right? So that's what I was saying earlier, it is the perception that I have to do really well. They're comparing themselves to their peers. They see things on the internet, they see things on social media. I have to do it this way, I have to get this scholarship, I have to do that, right? So and that's where therapy can come into play too, right? So where you
also,
really
I think as a parent, just grounding your kid that what you see on social media is not real.
Right.
Like, you can't hold yourself to that standard. Right. All of that is photoshopped. All of that is a glorification. Like, nobody posts their worst day on social media.
But again, that happens when you have clear communication with your child, right? You take the time to sit down and you listen to what their concerns are, what's going on for them, you validate what's going on for them, and then maybe you challenge that a little bit, right? You say, well, what really supports, and so this is a cognitive behavioral technique, right? So what really supports the fear? What really supports your belief system? What doesn't support it? And what you often find is the list of what supports it is this big, and the list of what doesn't support it is that big. And so as you do that more and more, and you really challenge what their concerns are, what their fears are, in a non-judgmental, healthy, working together sort of way, right? You're not dismissing it, you're validating it, and you're saying, but let's look at it from a different perspective. How else could this play out, right?
If this were your friend, what would you tell them?
Right. Yeah, that's a very common one we ask our adolescents.
Thank you both for both raising awareness and helping give parents tools.